So good morning again. Myself, Shabna from Zero Studio. And Kadalas Cafe has undoubtedly been one of our most favorite projects for reasons more than one. Okay, so distinct from many such experimental food joints that have come up in the city as part of a recent trend, though relatively new in these parts of the world, the client wanted a unique space for experimental dining, experience dining, and this was to be done using the 3 available levels in an existing building whose form was not doing much help. The cafe is set in a not so old building, literally a storehouse, nearby an old street with an enormous history, the Gujarati street in Kozhikode. It had very little to do with the past or present of its context, even being one of the few structures that lied within the permissible areas, abetting the primary influence factor later in the design process, the beach. Design involved reforming this building with no changes in the existing area or structural elements, but in volume by altering the roof heights. The facade is enveloped in a corrugated cement sheets, and rest of the exterior reflects similar hues with exposed cement and glass finishes. So here is a site plan, the floor plans, the ground floor and first floor, and the topmost floor, the second floor, which houses a lounge, and the elevations. The limited detail and ornamentation in the exterior as well as interior has been a conscious decision so that the sea with its changing colors remains the focus of the design. Though a standalone at first look, a closer observation reveals that the cafe, which in its attempt to deliver dining as a full experience, has its platter of design derived from the context itself. And borrowed from the sea, shades of blue and yellow along with plain cement finish colors the flooring, and finishes and accessories sort of reminisces a bygone era, thus reconnecting the building with the past. Choice of furniture has mostly been traditional. They were kept raw, designed with minimalistic approach and to get along with the concept of the interior. They have been used without polishing off their patina, thus keeping the old world charm. Also, they mostly accentuate on simple lines so as to not obstruct the view. And the clients also envisaged the cafe to be a reading cum gathering space for book lovers, and they went by the branding title, Kadalas, Tasty Tales by the Sea. And there were 3 levels, and of the 3 levels, the base level, they named it the Sands. Features a curved jali which orients the circulation and view towards the beach sands. The middle level was named Waves, that offers an elevated scenic view of the beach waters filtered through the foliage of a tree. And the third level is called Skies, which houses a launch space with a barrier-free view to the horizon. And the unfettered openness and in all the 3 levels towards the sea indeed brings in a lot of stories along with the continuity of waves in the minds of the visitor. We have a small AV presentation. Over to it. Thank you.
Thank you. The floor is open for the jury comments.
Hi. Beautiful site. I'm a little kind of confused on this one. I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, articulate my mixed thoughts about this. For that lovely location, you all seem to have kind of taken this idea of, or this look, what's kind of termed as a trendy kind of shabby chic kind of thing, which whilst being trendy seems to be kind of almost appropriate for that place somehow, and it seems to be kind of moving towards a kind of slightly unconscious, self kind of conscious design, unself-conscious. Which, whilst it seems appropriate, I'm also kind of concerned about authenticity, in that entire kind of choice of things that inhabit that space. And it's reminding me of Baba's famous quote that, is there kind of too much architecture between me and the view then? That was that kind of fantastic kind of sight and all those kind of lovely visuals which your film showed. Was there too much kind of going on, I'm honestly not sure where I lie, but
So for me, I would kind of build on his comment, because I also felt that yes, it was very this whole grunge chic that you kind of marry the two, but it works. It works in your context. The only thing which kind of stood out for me was the terracotta panels, which kind of looked very in.
So honestly, we should be thanking the client initially, because he sort of wanted something out of the generic palette. So this was built in 2018. This was time when a lot of cafes were popping up. So they almost followed this generic palette. So it was a conscious decision to go for a put together aesthetic like this. And of course the jalis, and though they are tailor made, factory made, but the pattern that you can see is like very much common over there. You can see the similar, very same pattern. So we actually had a friendly argument with the client also. They wanted to go for a more, synthetic kind of pattern, where we really wanted to come up with, which is already there. Because it's a very familiar pattern when you can, see the streets of Gujarati Street, which is nearby. So all of it coming from the locale and having that put together aesthetics was actually a conscious decision.
Yeah, because everything else kind of works. They kind of, have a harmony. If, in fact, your sketches, which you kind of put together earlier, were quite bold and provocative. I wish you had done the same to the drawings too. I think what this project did was actually, for me, was more of an emotion. I literally felt that I was by the sea.
It is.
And I think that's a compliment. So, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to check one thing. Is it an air-conditioned space, or because I saw glass kind of sealing it off?
Visitor do have the option to sit in the air-conditioned space, as well as there are spaces which is not, which is open to the sky, where you can have the sea breeze, the open lounge, and
No, I wasn't very sure about that. Yeah, I found it interesting. I think too, in the direction where Pinkish and Number were going, I think the choice of it's GI sheet or it's cement board sheet.
cement board.
I think to me that helped to kind of balance that international look, which is kind of pervades everything. I think that kind of brought it down to a level which I felt very comfortable with, and I'd like to hang out in a space like that. If I was over there, I would like to be there. I think that one choice of material kind of worked for me.
Thank you.